Welcome to the Surviving Hollywood podcast.
I'm sick and tired of Harry. I'm sick and tired of having to eke my way through life.
Starring Johnny Ray Diaz.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
You can't handle the truth!
Aaron Arnold.
Darkness is your father. I really adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Austin Arnold.
Goddamn people!
Blind?
Welcome back, everybody, to Surviving Hollywood podcast. My name is Aaron Arnold.
My name's Austin Arnold.
And I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
Great to be checking in with you guys today. This episode is going to be short, sweet, to the point. We have some dates. If you live in the Southern California area, we have short films, multiple short films in NoHo Cinefest and Pasadena International Film Festival. Stay tuned because in the next couple of minutes, we'll be sharing with you those dates and also just giving you an update on what we've been doing these past couple months. Johnny, Austin, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. I want to say I missed you guys. I'm glad we're back.
Austin, you moved into a new place?
I got a new place. It's, you talk about upgrading your life, and I figured no better time than when you could get a free image off of Google Images and have a green screen behind you. So
Quite literally faking it till you make it.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah. So what have you guys been up to? What's new on the horizon?
you got a big audition I'm putting on tape right after this.
Oh, what's it for?
You guys ever heard of a little director called Robert Rodriguez?
Oh, okay.
What's he done?
Well, if you don't know, then you don't know.
No, he's a big-time director, but what are his most famous movies for the folks at home?
Johnny?
Spy Kids.
Yeah, Spy Kids. That's right.
Kids, Death Proof.
Yes.
He did the Grindhouse. I don't know if he did Death Proof, but he did the Grindhouse with Tarantino.
Yes.
I
mean, he's been
Desperado.
He's been in the industry forever. Obviously, name and that
Machete,
that's all.
Machete with Danny Trejo. That's a good one.
I never saw it.
Yeah, I think we saw that. That's a classic.
But I love Trejo's tacos. But anyway, that's all I can say about the project. But a supporting part in his new HBO Max thing.
Is that a movie or is that a?
It's a movie.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was doing a show. I think he has done a show. I think he was doing a show a long time ago.
I'm 90% sure it's a movie.
Okay.
But yeah. So I mean, anyway, just the general grind. I know, Johnny, you're obviously you're recurring on a show right now.
I was working on. I don't think it's really a big deal to share. I was working on the new CSI Vegas, which is coming out.
I think it's a big deal.
I think they're dropping it October 6th. I think is what I saw on Instagram. I guess they just brought the show back, I guess. So I don't know if they're dropping the whole season at once. I don't really know, but they shot the whole season. It's only like 10 episodes, but they shot the whole thing before releasing it, because I know typically like those network shows will release them as they finish them. So maybe they're just dropping all 10. I don't really know like what they're doing necessarily, but I'm in the last 3, so can't really say what happens to me or what's going on or what I do, but I'm in there. And then right now I'm working on another show. I don't know if I can talk about it.
What network?
ABC, Disney. ABC.
It's a show that's been on forever. Everybody would know the name, and you are in many episodes.
This show's been on for. This is like, I don't know what season they're on anymore, but it's been on for decades, and like it's a cool role. That's something that I get to play. I'm actually not a criminal for once, which is great. But you're like an officer, somebody with a. I can't go into a lot of detail. Or maybe I can. I just don't.
Either a criminal or a cop. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. One or the other.
Just kidding, dude. You do everything, but they call you Mr. Procedural, right?
I know, dude. That's actually what they call me on set. They're like, "Can we get Mr. Procedural down here?" And then all the actors and everyone else just turned right to me, and then that was it. But I will say, which is kind of cool, one of the actors that I'm working with, who I have a bunch of scenes with, most of my scenes are with him. It's been fun because, one, he's a cool dude, but also I won't say what movie he was in, but he was in a movie that was really well known a long time ago, and that's kind of what got him started. And it's a big director that did the movie. And like, I remember when I saw I was going to work with him, and he directed the episode, which was cool. I was like, oh, dude, that's sweet. Like, that's actually one of my favorite movies. So
I want to know which one this is.
I can't say, dude, because then it gives away who it is. But anyway, I don't know when that's coming out. I have no idea. So, but I'm in the middle of shooting that now, and eventually, when it comes out, I will reveal all the details. But yeah, anything else you guys been up to?
As for me, you know, the self-tape grind, Delta variant still hitting LA, but you know, self-tapes are where it's at. You know, various projects in different stages of development. And of course, we got the big film festivals coming up. And then, you know, Austin and I have a unrelated cryptocurrency YouTube channel. We're going for 1 million subscribers. It's called Altcoin Daily. So, you know, that keeps.
By the way, you guys are just destroying the market with that, dude. You guys are like now influencing where crypto goes.
Dude, I just got a text from Paul from Splitting Image. Do you remember who that is, Austin?
Yeah.
Who was he?
He was a associate producer. He was with the production.
Was he the one who's like a very nice guy?
Yes, he was. Or
And
he
he,
could have
like-
been regular producer too, but he was
and-
a producer status.
And he was a bartender, an extra in a scene.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that was such a nice guy. He says, "Hey, buddy, hope you guys have been well the past couple of years. Weird question. Do you run a YouTube channel called Altcoin Daily Crypto? My buddy is always sending videos."
It's hilarious.
Wait, but aren't you? But you guys are in some of the videos, so wouldn't they be able to see you?
Yeah, but I mean, exactly. I think he knows it's us.
Oh, I see. He's like, he wants to double check. He's like, wait a minute.
That's just his vibe. He's like a nice guy, like kind of like.
He's like, wait, I'm taking financial advice from these guys? Hang on a second. This can't be right.
Hey, we're commentators on the market. We'll discuss what's happening and give our take.
If any of us knew the future, we'd all be rich.
What I will say from these guys, anybody listening right now, is these guys know what they're talking about. Let me tell you something, because I have made a lot of money on Bitcoin, all thanks to these guys. Huh? Heard a little crypto called Tron?
Hey,
That's right.
Hey,
That wasn't
That's
because of
right.
us.
Banking on it. Banking.
That wasn't because of us.
Good joke. Good
That
joke.
definitely wasn't because of you guys.
But
Anyway, let's get
one
big
more.
dates, yeah?
Well, one more question, and we can always cut this out if you don't want to talk about it. But you know,
We're not
Johnny,
cutting anything.
You're having your best year ever. Not that this directly correlates, but how's the mental health?
The mental health, I guess it correlates, right?
Yeah, this is one of your best years ever, right?
This
Career-wise.
this year I would say, yeah, role wise, best year for sure, because this is the 4th recurring role this last year, and then I've also done, I think, 3 guest stars on top of that.
Now, people at home who want to do 1 guest star, want 1 recurring, are looking at you, and this guy must be the happiest guy ever.
Happiest guy? Well, you know, mental health, man. Mental health is a funny thing. No, dude. Well, obviously, I think working helps for sure your own mental state, because it also gives you something to do. But I've been okay. I mean, I wouldn't say like, even though I'm working on stuff, I'm like, oh man, like I'm loving life right now. I wouldn't go that far, because I feel like then I'd just be lying to myself. But I'm okay. I think I have better days. I have more better days now than I was having bad days, which is good.
And everybody has bad days, you know.
For sure.
I got bad days.
We all have them. But you know what? You know what is weird, and maybe you guys can kind of chime in on this. So I was actually having a little bit of this conversation with Armida. You guys remember Armida, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to her.
Great actress, friend of the pod. What's up, Armida?
Friend of the pod. She's always, working stuff. I don't remember why we were talking. I think she told me she booked a commercial or something. But anyway, I was telling her that I was working on the show, which I'm on now. And it was actually very stressful, because I was working on 2 shows at the same time. And like, it was almost hard to keep track of stuff. And then like the days were like, oh no, you're working on this day, but as soon as you leave there, you have to go get a COVID test over here.
Humble brag, guys.
And then you have to you're learning your lines already. And then it was like a whole thing, right? And I was like I felt a little overwhelmed. And because I'm not used to that, which I think would be normal if you're like a series regular, right? You're obviously there every day, you're doing your thing, right? And then I started, there was a lot of long days. Like there was like 15, 16, there was some 16, 17-hour days. And I was like fried. You know what I mean? Like where the next day you don't want to do anything. You don't want to talk to anybody. You realize that like all your errands and your laundry and your room and everything's a mess. And you're like, I'm going to get to it in like 2 weeks because I don't have time. I started kind of feeling like, and I was telling her this, that as much as I love acting and like working on stuff, I was like, I don't know if I'd want to be on a series the whole full time. Like, no, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. That's not what I'm saying. If
Dude, I think I'd
choice,
love that, dude. What do you mean?
I know. Okay, let me explain. I'm just saying if I had a choice, would I ever turn it down? Absolutely not. Please sign me up, right? And I would deal with it. But what I meant by that is if I had a choice, I would rather work on a movie for like 2 months or whatever it is, and then have like a month off or a break, and then come back and do something else.
I think I'd rather be on a hit TV show.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, a hit TV show would be awesome too, but it would have, if it's a cool show, but like a show like, you know, working on like a procedural or something for like 9 months where you're working 6 days a week.
You mean a type of show that's bankable, that gets made every year, that everybody watches? Yeah, that's
where
better.
Your soul is crushed because you're like, well, I'm really creating art here, right? You know? Yeah, that show.
It's I guess when I answer, I would want to be on a show. I think of like, oh, I'd want to be on The Office. Yeah.
Well, oh, dude. I mean, if it's like a comedy, I think that would be completely different because you're having fun every day. You know what I mean? But when you're on like a very set where it's like everything's so serious and it's like, all right, dude, we're just figuring out who killed this guy, and it's like, you know, you have to play it so dramatic, right? And then you're on there for 16 hours and then you're working for 9 months straight, which is great. Who wouldn't want to work that much? But you also have no life. Like this to touch on something off of this, it was interesting because when I was working, I won't say with the show, but I was working on a show and the main actors kept forgetting all their lines, or they'd be like, what's the line again? What's the line again? As we were doing the scenes. And then the guy kept apologizing.
It was a more medically oriented show or a more cop oriented show?
No, it was more like drama cop stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, so you know what I mean. But anyway, so the dude was really cool and he kept apologizing. He was like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. He's like, dude, we're pushing like 90 hours this week. I just shot like 5 other scenes like right before this. And he's like, I'm just trying to keep it all on track. You could tell the dude was like,
This a regular?
Yeah. And you could tell the guy was just fried. You know what I mean? Like mentally. And he was just like,
no excuse, dude. I mean,
they're shooting like 2 episodes at the same time. So then it's like, wait, I was wearing this in the other scene. Wait, so where are we in the story? Like what, you know what I mean? Like you're, because they're trying to align everything.
Johnny, I know for a fact that you could look at 3 pages and 4 pages, and in like 30 minutes, you'll have it basically good to go.
But anyway, so it was interesting to see that. And I was just like, this dude is like, you know, he's spent, you know what I mean? And he was like, I was talking to him a little bit off camera and he was just like, we just work so much. And he's like, I literally don't have any, like, I don't do anything. Like, it's like, wake up, sleep, eat. This is it.
That's the dream. It's like fun going to set.
When do you see your family and your kids? And it's just like, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like that dynamic. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want that.
As somebody who doesn't have it, I want that.
Yeah. I would love to be working. Dude, I'm not even putting it out there that I don't want to book a series. I would love to book a series. All I'm saying is that, like, because I value my freedom so much of being like, no, today I'm going to go hiking. Today I'm going to go do this. Today I'm going to go do that. Or I'm going to go to the beach today and just relax and I don't want to think about anything. I would almost rather have that career where I'm like shooting a movie for a few months, playing one character, done, have a break for like 2 months, travel somewhere, and then get back on another project. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but you're just assuming you'll get back on another project right away. That's why a TV show could be more appealing, especially if it's a hit.
It's more lucrative, probably, you know?
I feel that because...
But anyway, that was just my 2 cents. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely get it. When I was on Deputy, we happened to film, shot in New Mexico. I was there for the final episode of the season. And so I got to go to the cast party, even though I was just there for that one episode. And at all the main, I was so excited that we went out to a bar, and all the main cast was just like fried, and they're all calling their kids at home. And it was
like, what are we doing, guys?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so tell me about what we're doing with this scene. What about this scene? Dude,
Shot?
We just finished it. Stop. All right.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you guys can, just because I'm now in the circle doesn't mean you guys can't talk about all the fun times that happened, you know, obviously when I wasn't there, and they just all just sipping their beers.
I mean, it's got a grunt in you. You're working that long, dude. Like it's a lot.
And they all loved it.
Yeah.
They all loved it, but they were just tired.
For sure.
I understand being tired after the day's over.
Yeah. But I would rather be on a comedy. I would way much rather work 15 hours on something that's funny, because then you're like, I'm not really working, you know. But when you're like, I gotta get emotional here, I gotta feel something here, you know what I mean? That's when it's like, oh man,
Definitely.
Anyway, to the dates.
If you want to come see our shows, so it's a few different short films. Johnny, do you want to give them or should I?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll give them.
If
So
you have
first,
them, go ahead.
Pasadena International Film Festival. I'm going to give you the dates and times where our film is playing, but there's other dates and times for other films because it's the whole festival. So Pasadena International Film Festival, PIF, a film that we're in and produced called Easter Eggs, is 6 p.m. Lemley, Friday, September 10th. And then the next Wednesday the 15th, Instant Gratification, which is a film that we're in and produced and directed and wrote. So that's PIF. Then cut to a little while later, NoHo Cinefest, North Hollywood Cinefest, Friday, October 1st, 5 p.m. Letter from God. That's a good one, guys. That one gets a little weird. Letter from God.
Dark comedy.
I'm going to just preface this real quick for the audience. Of those three movies, Letter from God is my favorite one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Anyway.
If you liked our last one from a couple years ago, Papua, you'll love Letter from God, but you'll like all of them. So October 1st, Friday, 5 p.m., Letter from God. And then October 6th, 6 p.m., Instant Gratification, again at the NoHo Cinefest.
And that's playing at the Lamley in the Arts District in North Hollywood. So tickets are available now on all our websites too. So
two different Lemleys, like Pasadena has one Lemley and the NoHo has another Lemley.
And if you guys have never been to the Lemley, audience members, I think there's some of the best theaters in town. They play some of the coolest movies. So, I mean,
true. It's good to see stuff at the Lemley because they show movies you wouldn't normally get a chance to see in the theater. And seeing a movie at a theater is a way awesome experience as opposed to Netflix, which is also good, but just different.
Do you guys think we'll actually get an audience member of Surviving Hollywood to come out? Do you guys think?
An audience member?
I'm just saying somebody who watches this podcast, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll get one or two.
I'd love to see you if you want to come. I'm talking to you. But it's this weekend, I guess, Pasadena.
So we'll know if somebody is coming from this podcast, because what I want you guys to do, if you're listening to this podcast and you're planning on coming to any one of these shows, PIF, NoHo Cinefest, I want you to walk up to Austin or Aaron, hand around their shoulder, and just whisper in their ear, "Hey, Daddy."
Chills, dude. Chills.
Hey, Daddy. And that's how we'll know they came from this podcast.
And that's how we'll know who to call security on.
All right, dude.
No, that's the secret code. I hope
you'll know why. If you watch Letter from God, you'll know why Daddy is important. So,
and this will be the first time the audience gets to see. All right, they talk about auditions and booking stuff and all the time. I want to see if they can actually act,
or write, or direct, or produce.
And this is it. So I hope we see you there, guys. Final thoughts.
See you there.
We'll see you soon.